Welcome back to Frank's Garage. This is part one of the K-swap in the EK Coupe. We're gonna have to get started, pull the engine out. Yeah, I did get carried away with some sandpaper. But we'll have a hole in here pretty soon for a stack. Can't wait. So we're gonna pop this hood, drain the fluids. I did put the SI wheels on also. Looks a lot better. So we're gonna pop the hood, drain the fluids, and get this little engine out. Well, it was fun getting this thing running while we did. Let's drain the oil, the coolant, undo the fuel lines, and drop this thing out. The engine is out, the subframe is out. Now I'm gonna show you guys why you have to use inner fenders. If you drive around all these years without inner fenders, this is what happens to your car. Looks all right down there, right? Looks all right, looks all right. Boom. All that tire spraying up in there. Now I'm gonna have to box this in and weld that in. But that's crazy. No inner fender. This side's even worse. It's all good, 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 good. Boom. It's good inside though, but inner fenders, use them. Subframe's out. Let's see what it looks like where it mounts. Oh yeah, nice. Fuel lines and brake lines need replaced, but we're gonna do that anyways. Don't mind this. It's that floating jack stand. Of course, all the transmission fluid went all over the floor. Look at that, brand new where it was bolted. Look at the bottom of the factory subframe. Where it mounts up to the car is good, so that's the only thing I'm worried about. This is garbage. Even though the new old car took the Acura spot, I'm still gonna try to get the Acura in over here so it doesn't sit outside. It can't be kicked out of the garage. This is its home. It was here first, so let's get it in. It's never been on this side of the garage. This is the finished side. Oh yeah, it fits. Plenty of room. Quick little update here. I have the engine bay with some primer on it. Not very professional, but better than it was. You guys saw it before. Still gonna remove the brake booster, paint there. We're gonna paint all this black again. And I also have my engine block over here, cleaning it all up, make sure the cylinder walls are all clean. So I figured out what I'm gonna do here. I'm going to use the OEM rods that came out of this block with the rod bearings that came out of it. The ones that have the broken ring lands. I'm gonna use these rods because the bearings are still good and I have them numbered so I know which one goes where. But I'm gonna put new pistons on it and I'm going to try to use the same piston rings because they're already matched to the cylinders. And then I have new RBB pistons, stock TSX pistons that I'm gonna throw in. And we should be able to complete the engine that way. And then I have head studs, ARP head studs. I've been holding on to these for a while. We're gonna use those. And then I'm gonna have to do new main bearings because I don't remember what order those went in. So we're gonna do new mains, the same rod bearings, same rods, new pistons, new head gasket, head bolts. Head's all cleaned up over here. Well, it's decked, it's not cleaned up, but I still gotta clean this too. And then we're gonna throw this on. We're gonna put a Type S oil pump on it, 50-degree timing gear, and that should be good, and we'll throw it in here. So I've been working on this. I still can't get this bottom, there's a bottom bolt right here, nut. I've used extractors, I got the other ones, but I can't get this one yet. So I took a break on that. And I'm waiting for my tuner to come over. He actually has my thrust washers. I let him borrow, and he ended up using them. So we're gonna use the new thrust washers in this engine because I gave him my used thrust washers and he used those in the engine he just built. But I don't wanna go through all this and put a stock oil pump on. None of that's gonna happen. And the thrust washers in this are bad, so I can't use those. But I believe we have everything we need to put this thing together and get it in the car. The only thing we don't have is the shifter cables for the transmission that's in the shed. I'm gonna be using a cord transmission, but it's from an 08 to 12, so where it bolts the bracket on is a little different. But I'm gonna be able to use my Accord shifter box, but I'm gonna have to get different shifter cables. And then I gotta put the clutch pedal still in. I got that right here. Gas, brake, and clutch. We gotta throw that in. I have the conversion harness over there. Got it from my buddy James Gasper. It's right there, so that's beautiful. And then we'll just take the ECU out of there and use it in here, and I can switch them back and forth when I want to drive them. Another piece to the puzzle that I don't have would be a K20 intermediate shaft and then axles. But I believe we can use Acura RSX base axles over here, and then we switch the inner cups kind of like we did with the other car, because these are only 32mm axles. You can buy the hubs to upgrade them to 36, but we'll do that down the road. But the big plan is to make this actually a race car. We're gonna gut it, make it super light, and it's gonna be like those Honda boys you see on the internets doing 8-second quarter miles. I'm excited, can't wait. I got the D series outside right here, hanging out. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe one day find a go-kart and put it on a go-kart or something. My axle collection. Subframe looks pretty good. I'm still waiting on the subframe bolts for this. Those should be here within the next few days. Whoa, a lot of work going on over here. Getting her all done. I moved on to the next thing on the list. I dropped the pedals, pulled the master away from the wall. So these are the auto ones. Here's the manual ones. So we're gonna throw those on real quick, and then we'll have a 5-speed car or a clutch car. Mostly every car, if it was offered a 5-speed,
there would be a cutout here in the carpet. I pulled the piece off. So that was like that. He ripped this off, pulled the insulation out. Now normally this is where I drill through. It's usually steel here. I usually, from the firewall, I usually drill through here to run power wire. Well, the Civic just has a grommet. You just push it out and push out these two there and here, and now it's a 5-speed car. On my Acura, I had to cut that hole. I just pushed, there's 3 rubbers. So now all the holes are there, bolts right in. And hopefully there's a bolt up top too. Is there one up there? Yep. See that threaded nut up there? Up, nut cert? My Acura didn't have that either. But it was offered in a 5-speed. Looks like there's another hole there too to run something else. So I got it all sprayed down. It's just some semi-gloss. You saw I didn't do like a professional job. I didn't do as good as I did on the Acura, but it doesn't look bad. It looks better than it was at the beginning of the video where it was red and black all over the spots. But right now I'm cleaning up this wire because it's got red overspray from the last person that painted it. I'm cleaning it up so it looks better. I'm not gonna need a lot of it, but the parts I do need, I wanna make sure it looks nice. And then I still have to get rid of this, the evap, and then clean all this up. We're getting rid of those coolant lines. I also took the cowl off because that has red overspray all over it. So I'm gonna try to paint that with trim paint and see if that works, just to make it look better. But you know, if you don't need it, delete it. We're making this a race car. And you know, they have paint all over the battery, all over the box here. There's the heater core, the fan that's bad. So I'm just gonna clean this wire up first, and then we'll move on to something else. And 3 days later, I still didn't get this bolt out yet. I forgot I wanted to go get extractors. I got millimeter extractors, metric extractors, but none of them are working. So I want to go get American SAE extractors to see if I can get that out, because I need this hole. I got this one out also, but I need this hole for the engine mount, because the motor mount mounts here, here, and then underneath, and then this one mounts here, here, and like over here somewhere. And then I just found out that the subframe bolts are coming from the same guy that I ordered another part from. I got one of them off Facebook and one off of eBay. I was like, bro, you sent in my stuff? He's like, oh, I sent them together. Let me know if you ever need anything. You bought 2 different things off me and you didn't even know. I said, that's great. But it looks better. And then the lower radiator support I didn't really care about, because I'm probably gonna cut that out anyway. All right, so that looks 4% better than all this old tape and the crap loom. Like, this stuff was bad. So you won't see, all you're gonna see is the brake sensor for the fluid, and then I'm gonna pull, this is like the headlight plug or something else, and then I'm gonna pull the other plug inside just like I did on the Acura for the conversion harness. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here, clean all this up, tuck that in real nice, and then the battery goes back there, at least for now, until we're a true race car with a weight plate. But before we do all that, we gotta get an engine in it and see what we need to figure out. And then we could do carbon fiber front end and all that crazy stuff. I'm gonna do the same thing with this nasty headlight harness. This does the headlights, the horn. You can see there's crap everywhere. All the grounds for the headlights, connects the engine bay around. So those 2 ends plug into that broken plug, and that one, this supposed to come down through here into the headlights underneath, back around and plug in over here. I'm gonna try to hide those and maybe take out of stuff that I don't need, because I believe there's like an air conditioning plug in here, condenser fan, stuff like that. So I'm gonna pull it apart, see what we can figure out. You just gotta burn it in. If it starts burning holes, then we'll look at it. Get closer than that. Holy shit. Get in there. Holy fuck. Get in there. Closer.
I mean, it ain't pretty, but...
Does it look like it's taking it as you're welding?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks 2% better. I just put some new tape on it, cleaned it up a little bit. Not bad. Still gotta like clean the overspray off the plugs.
What?
But it looks pretty good.
Oh.
Not bad. Not bad. So look what else I found. 2012 to 2015 Civic Si mount. This is the shifter bracket that I didn't have. So it should go right like that. And this is an Accord transmission, but it's the same part number. So that's our next piece to the puzzle. So we're doing pretty good here, guys. Doing pretty good. Hopefully this transmission works, because this is the only one that I have that will bolt into the car. The only other transmission that will bolt into the Civic is going to be an all-wheel drive transmission. The mounts that mount this and the all-wheel drive transmissions are the same. I cannot use the Accord transmission. Well, the 03 to 07 Accord. It has to be 08 to 12. But I could always take gears and everything out of this. It's all interchangeable. And I should be able to use the same shifter box, because these are the same way. On a way to tell on K-Series transmissions, if the pivot is on the right side, see how it pivots there? There's the pivot. If that's on the right side, it uses an Accord style shifter cable. If the pivot's on the left side, it uses an RSX type of shifter cables. So that's some cool information to know. But we'll clean that up and make it look good. All right, so that's about it that I can do until I get the subframe bolts, so I can put the subframe back in. And then I'm still waiting for my tuner. I should see him tomorrow. I think he's coming up to my work to bring me the thrust washers for this engine so I can put her together. And I have all the parts to slap her together, and should be good. So thanks for watching part 1. Part 2 will be posted shortly, and hopefully by, less than 5 parts, we could be doing our first burnout. The goal is to get this car into the 10s before the end of the season. So if anybody wants to sponsor Frank's Garage, it would be greatly appreciated. We could get in the 10s together, bucko. It'd be nice to get in the 10s with full interior too. We'll see what we can do.